Welcome to SpendClass. Today we're going to get fit in the booty and thighs while we talk about how to get real impact and effect from your money when you're investing in high ticket programs. So stick with me. I'm going to make sure that we are good to go and streaming. I would like to see this live go live for real. We're going to hang in there. What's going on? Let us in. Let us in. Before we didn't have sound. So we're going to make sure that we are broadcasting and that we have sound. Did you hear that? We're on. Okay, let's get started. And today we're going to focus more on the quads, the glutes, and the energy here is about creating massive impact with the little bit, right? So we're not here to run a marathon, to do big work. We're going to do simple work. So I'm going to step up just a little bit further so you can see me. And if you like, if you're advanced and you're just joining me for fun, you can add some weights. I'm going to keep it off so that I can keep my breath and keep working with you because we're going to keep it simple today. And we're just going to start with a little squat. And as you go down, I'm going to come down so you can see a little bit more. You're going to try to sit your booty back. Sit all the way back. We're not doing this. We're going back as straight as you can. And you really want to focus on form. So just like with your money, you want to make sure that you're using the right form, using the right structures, and being clear that you're being effective with your money. Because you guys, if you just do this, you're not going to get some motion. You got to get that in there and move. And so you want to activate the thighs as you go down. So we're going to do some squats together. We're going to talk about where to use your money and get a little bit financially fit while we're going through our day. So welcome, and thank you for taking the mid part of your day out with me to join me. I love this because literally 10 minutes ago, I was in this, having meetings, and now we're here getting fit. So everything is available to you, and it's just a matter of choosing it and seizing it. So we're going to get started while I begin to talk. Now you can do whatever you want with your arms. You can bring them out and in. I like to just keep mine here simple because it keeps my energy focused on just the up and the down motion. So for those of you who've tuned in specifically for the money advice, here's what I have for you today. When you are faced with a big decision, so let's say, for example, that you go to an event and all of a sudden there's a mastermind offer. Every single day, clients call me and they're like, how do I put this offer together? How do I be sure that I'm adding value to the people in the room? And how do I communicate that value so that I'm able to transmit it to them? Perhaps you have been in an opportunity to invest. Someone comes to you and they say, oh, invest in yourself, right? And the conversation is always there. This is not a spend, this is an investment. But let's keep it real. If you're putting your money in something keep going, sometimes I'm going to get animated. You keep going, keep just going down and up at your own pace and slowly. But if you're putting your money into something and it doesn't have a direct impact in one of two ways, that means that you are either increasing your income. So by putting your money in this, it creates more income, or appreciating in value. So that's what makes it an asset. When you put your money in, it's not an investment if it's not an asset. If you buy a fancy car, yes, it gets you to and from work. But anything beyond the basics of that car, like a Honda does just as good as a Ferrari, guys, to get you to work and with less cost. So you want to think about the impact. So if your goal is to look cute, to pick up chicks, whatever that goal might be, maybe the Ferrari works for you because that's the goal. But if your real goal is to get to a place and home where you can earn money, then you really want to think about buying what in tech they call it the minimum viable product. So what is the thing that I can buy that gets me what I want and need without creating excess investment? So I'm going to tell you what happened with me. In my very, very first big join, I was already I already had a doctorate. I already had a certified financial planner at the time. I no longer hold that designation, to be clear. When I was all the way in, I go to this sales event. I think I'm going to learn sales. Take a break on your legs, shake it out. So I go to learn sales, and I think I'm there in San Diego at this event specifically for the purpose of learning sales. And then I'm going home and I'm taking my little baby business and we're going to put this into action, these sales I've learned. Midway through the event, she makes an offer for a mastermind to move forward. We're going to go sideways. Now I'm going to step out so you can see a little more and then come back for the sound. Now we're just going to step forward in a lunge and back up. And again, you want to create a lunge, especially while you're in movement mode. You don't want to create overage, just like if you're leveraging your money. If you're going to go deep, it's a lie to say that you can't go past the knee, forward, move those ankles, get that body moving. But when you're going to do an actual lunge, you do want to make sure that you've got the alignment. So you should just be going up and down in your lunge, just like this. So while you're lunging, keep lunging. So I joined this mastermind, and the moment came, and it was like, you're doing this, Crystal. It was like this. It was like spirit just rushed in and said, we're doing this, so say yes. I was a single mom, you guys. It did not make sense to me. I was like, excuse me, I'm arguing with God like big time. Like, I'm a single mom, right? I don't even know what my business is, right? And all of this was there. But the yes was undeniable. So the first tip is, if you're in a situation and you may not know the how, but every part of you says yes. It is undeniable. You may not have the details. I was a single mom. This was an $18,000 investment as a single mom. Shake it out. And here I am saying, but it's a yes for me. It is a whole body yes. I don't like to curse on this show, but it's an F yes, right? Like, we're going to go with that for those of you who are listening and don't like that. But it is a full body. I'm in, I'm all in. Let's do it. Sometimes you just have to accept it. Your full body is in. Just like when you're going to take now the left foot forward. And just like when you are doing a lunge, you don't want to halfway do it. So if you can't be a full in yes, I don't know how, but this is yes, then it's not a full yes. So the first thing is, when you have a yes and it's a clear, obvious, full-bodied yes, sometimes you just got to trust that. And when that happens, here's what you want to do. Is this my yes? Like, is this me saying yes? Is this everything in me knows that I don't understand why, but this is a yes, move forward? And am I caught up in the emotion? So you want to do a quick assessment. Sometimes your full yes is just emotion. And let's be real with that, because if your full yes is just emotion, chances are you're not going to get the impact that you thought. And so in this case, I didn't understand why. It was simply a full body yes. It was everything in me said yes. And I felt like I had been nudged from spirit. Continue your lunges till you're tired and then take a break. Should feel a little burn. Stop when it burns. I'm saving my breath so I can speak to you. And it was yes, I have to. Everything. This doesn't make sense, but I have to. I had plenty of income, but it wasn't like I had $18,000 cash. I was a single mom, you guys. How am I going to do this? But I had a good standing with the bank. I was able to go and get those funds, and that worked out for me. So it felt full body yes. Now, here's what I want you to understand about those full body yeses that are not based in logic. Sometimes they take a really long time to show up what the benefit was. In this case, I joined the program. I ended up on her stage, in her book, very much engaged and full. Now we're going to take a wider stance. So like, really spread those feet. Let's see. Way out. You're going to get those feet wide. I'm staying here so we can stay connected. And just up and down. And so while I'm a yes to everything that this woman is saying, it made no sense. I didn't have the logic. It didn't make sense. And guess what? I didn't make a lot of money from that right away. I spent $18,000 that year just to join. Plus, I then had to travel 5 different times to go to the events. That was a fancy hotel because she always did them in high-end hotels. It was a flight. It was the ride, right? The transportation from the airport to the hotel. It was the expensive meals that you eat when you're staying in a hotel. So it wasn't just an $18,000 decision. This is the next piece I want you to understand. When you're saying yes, even if it's a full body yes, what other costs are associated with this? And will you be able to keep up with it? Now, I, being really good with money, was able to keep up with it, figure it out, make it work. But listen, it wasn't easy. And it wasn't like I made all that money in that first year. Some people did. I was not ready. I did not fully understand what I was saying yes to, but everything in me said yes. Now, it worked out. Why? Because from that group, it happened to be her content was way ahead of me. I did not know what I was doing, and I was still trying to figure out what I was doing in the world, let alone do the marketing, do the things, all the things the course was about really didn't fit where I was. So that's the other piece. Like if it's not a full body yes, and you just know that you know that you know, then you can really step into the assessment of, does it make sense for me? Worked out for me because it turns out I was there for community. And that's where sometimes the full body yes, we're just going to hold that squat low. Sometimes the full body yes doesn't reveal to itself why right away. What it turns out for me is I was there for community. I was not there to gain or benefit from the financial strategies she had, from the marketing or sales strategies she had. I did use the speaking quite a bit and still do. But the programs themselves, they weren't really, they were just too advanced for me. But I met some of the dearest friends, and I can count at least 10 people to this day that I could call up on the phone that we are true friends, that we've been through this business process together. Now, this was 2011, so it was a long time ago. But many of these people I've stayed in touch. In fact, because I've relaunched a new thing this year, which was creating courses for people, like really creating that push button. In 3 days, you come, we work together, we get you a course out the door. People can push a button and buy from you. Because I had a new offer, that community became my sales funnel. And so 13, I think, years later that we are, that finally has started to pay because that community has become my clients as well. But up until last year, that community, I really didn't understand the clarity of what my offer was. And we're going to take a break on those legs, shake them out. Maybe you already quit, and that's okay. You can go back in at any time. And so that community has started to pay off for me just now. So sometimes when it's a full body yes, understand that the answers, the results may not come right away. And that's part of the journey. What can we do? We just stay in it. So the next piece I want to talk to you about, sometimes it's going to work up because it's a full body yes, but let's say it's not. Let's say you didn't get that punch in the gut. Spirit isn't really giving. It's like, hello, clue here, Spirit, please give me something, and nothing's coming. So how do you do the assessment for yourself? So we're just going to, while we do that assessment, you're just going to want to lift, pick one leg, maybe your right leg, and just push it back. And as you push back, you want to think about literally like pushing that leg to the back. So you don't want to bend, no bending, right? And don't make it, just hold in the abs tight and lift with this glute. So you want to use the glute to do the lifting. And so when you're joining that community, maybe you need a little more logic. And that's what I really wanted to write in this channel today. So the first thing, I'm not here to argue with your full body yes. If it's your full body yes, time will reveal why. And now the strategies that I learned from this teacher a long time ago are very seasoned in me. I've tried them many ways, but without clarity of what my work is in the world, and gotten mediocre results. But the moment I had the clarity, her work works. And so now I get to go into communities where I have seasoning regarding these strategies, and I'm able to use them because I've been studying them the whole time, even when I didn't know what I was using them for. So if you are in a situation you already invested, that's okay. Start to think about the impact. So just like you're here with me, don't come on this call and sit down. How many of you have watched fitness videos while you're sitting? I have. So if you're just here to listen, that's okay. Listen in. But if you came here because you want to add impact to your body while you get financially fit, then go ahead and pick up and do the exercises. So that's what I had to do. I had to go through, do the exercises until they mattered. But what happens when you don't know? When it's not a full body yes, you're just making a logical choice because this program in front of you seems to be the answer. So here are a couple of things you can use to determine if you are correct in your assessment that it's the right answer for you. Number one, does it have an answer, a resource, access, some kind of way to something that I've identified I need to move forward? So let's say, for example, that you've really been trying to get funding for your business. Well, if you join a community that can directly teach you how to get funding and the people in the community are getting funded, then that's probably a good fit, right? So it could be a fit for the what. And then you have to think about, is this the right one? So yes, this community teaches you how to get funded. Great, people are getting funded. I want that. And just switch to the other leg, just kicking back. But while you're allowing yourself to consider, okay, these people get people funded, the next question is it the right fit for me? So, okay, they're teaching me how to do this X skill, aka get funded. Is this the right place? Will I feel supported? Will I feel like I can actually do it? So, for example, if you get a teacher who is extra intelligent, and a lot of times, and see how you lose balance sometimes? That's okay, right? You're going to lose your balance. You're going to just reframe. Let's say you got off and you did a bad choice. Okay, oops, I'm messed up in my funding. It's okay. Stop, pause, recenter, and start again. So sometimes that's going to happen. So maybe this community you found out is a little too advanced for you. Find out if there are beginners. Are there other people in the community who can help? But if you haven't made that choice yet, then you can go ask community members, find out what they're getting out of it. There's one person I met, we were co-speakers on a stage, and liked the person. It was all great. But as soon as we started into a conversation, the sales strategies began. Now, was I looking for marketing and sales strategies at the time? Yes. Okay, he has the answer to marketing and sales strategies. Why not join that group? He claims to be getting some really special results with his people. Awesome. Why did I not join the group? First of all, it wasn't within my budget. So if I knew it's not in my budget for this particular task, I wanted to spend X, Y, Z dollars. This was ABC dollars, and it just didn't fit. It wasn't what I was looking for at the time. I know what I wanted to do with those funds, and that was to hire a team, not to get involved in someone else's marketing strategies. Also, I've studied a lot of marketing. Secondly, I didn't enjoy the experience. The customer experience of working with that person was very aggressive. It was very forward. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, we're going to take a break if you haven't already. Nothing wrong with being aggressive, being forward. In fact, marketing often requires that. But since I felt like this with this person coming at me to sell, I realized that the strategies I'm going to learn from this person are going to also create an energy. So look at the output. This is number 2. Look at the output from the thing you're considering investing in so that you can determine, is this output an output I want? And I don't want to hound people. I don't want to follow up. Are you sure? Do you want to do it? Let's go. And that aggressive energy of marketing, not for me. It's not wrong. It's just not for me. So just because the person has the answer of what you're looking for, then the next question is this one the right answer for me? Because I promise you there are many people out there doing just the same thing. Now we're going to do something really simple. We're just going to lift the knees. So you want to imagine not throwing or thrusting, but from this place of slow and steady, you want to lift the knee as far as you can, right? And you don't have to, you can help it if you want that extra stretch. But really, I just want you to go down, tap the toes, and slowly lift. And just keep doing that for as high as you can, but with a control. We're not doing anything fast and furious here. This is a slow, controlled, increase our fitness while we learn a little bit about money class. Welcome to SpendClass. By the way, if you haven't already, please like, please share, please subscribe, do all the things to let me know that you do like this class and that we should keep going. Even if my life gets very busy and I don't have space, I'd love to keep this space for you if you just let me know that you love it. So, love you. Okay, so back to marketing. To spending your money. I'm using marketing because that's the one that I feel like I get bombarded with the most because it's my weak spot. Marketing is not my thing. This class exists because I don't want to market things, but I did want to have a classroom. So I said, you know what? I'm going to do a classroom for me, which looks like this. Whatever I'm doing in my day, I get to pause and actually create movement. Movement matters to my mental health. And because movement matters to my mental health, I wanted to do that. I also felt an urge I needed a classroom. So I said, why don't I combine them? Hey, if no one else listens and no one else ever loves this channel, I will love this channel because I have a classroom. Thank you for those who are tuning in. And I also get to pause and move in the middle of a day. And that's been really helpful for me. And rested a little bit and switch. And so again, same thing, just lifting as slowly as you can and controlled. It's in the control. The abs should be tight. And when you're lifting with this leg muscle up, it really is the abs here that's pulling that up. And again, form is everything. So when you're putting your money to work, are you putting it into the right structures, the right forms that can create the benefits you want? If you want weak legs, don't do this move, right? This really causes, and it also, by the way, helps the lower back. So it's that structure. So this is a very structural move, especially when we go slow. Very different than throwing the knees up, right? That's more cardio. This, we're doing a slow and steady. So like the marketing, I wasn't interested in the fast. I'm not trying to do cardio right now. So understand what it is that is keep going, don't quit just because I do. And what is the cardio? What is the impact? What is the change? What is it going to look like? And more importantly, what does my life look like when I make that choice? And so is it going to add value in my life in some way? Some of you listening are listening because you want the data, but you're driving. Please don't try to do all of these exercises while you're driving. So know what's a fit. And sometimes you can tap partway into a community and not. But I really want to caution you against getting involved in too many. So we talk about, does it fit? So first of all, is it a full body? Yes. If so, we'll figure it out. Just make sure that you're not putting yourself in detriment to make it work. Number two, maybe it's the thing you want, but is it the right community? Is it the right teacher? Is it the right place or strategy to get that? And you'll know them by their fruits, right? So is this a fit? Does it feel good? Does it work for me so that I can create this impact that I'm looking for? And then let's say you've moved forward and you say, this is the right teacher for me. And now you've identified that. And we're just going to shake it out and rest a little. So now you've identified this is the right thing. This is the right teacher or community. The next step is, am I ready to go all in? So here's what I wanted to warn you about. Sometimes we can dip our toe until we have a whole lot of toe dips and no action. We're so busy learning and we get overwhelmed with all the what that we actually don't do any doing. And I know we're in a world where they're like, this is not about the doing, this is about the being and da-da-da. Yes, and when you're going to invest and put your money to work, you want to be able to be about what it is. So rather than finding 10 free communities, which are going to disperse your attention, and by the way, your number one resources in the world are your team, your time, energy, attention, and money. And if you're engaging your team, time, energy, attention, and money into something, then it is taking away, there's an opportunity cost, we call it in economics, taking away from something else you could be doing. So if you have 10 toe dips, but they're all free, they're costing you still. They're costing you your resources. And we talk mostly about money here, but money is one of the 4 major resources: time, energy, attention, and money. So don't go into a bunch of free groups trying to get what you can. Pick one. Pick one that's doing exactly what you need, whose people are the people you want to be around and the teacher that you want to emulate. And if you've done that, then you do that. And yes, you're spending a little bit of your money. So remember, over here, you had 10 free groups, but you're spending a lot of time, a lot of energy, and a lot of attention in those free groups. Over here, you've made a choice, you've pulled out your money, but now it's going to minimize, and we're going to just go down again and just hold your squat while we talk. And you're going to minimize the time, energy, and attention required to get the return on your money. So is it the right group? Does it achieve the goals that I have for myself? And is this the right teacher? Those are the things you want to think about when you're joining a group. And then the last part of this is, how likely am I to follow through? So if you are joining a group, you guys, I see this all the time. Ooh, this is starting to burn. Are you burning? Ooh, sometimes our decisions burn. And so let's say, for example, that you want so badly to be the person who would do social media. You wish you could be, you want to be, and so you spend your money and you tap into a group that's doing social media, only to find out all you did is scratch that itch, get the dopamine hit by joining, but you're not going to do the work. And so if you catch yourself repeatedly doing things, saying yes, joining, and then not doing the work, I really want you to dial it back. And before you spend another dime on that, ask yourself and question for yourself, am I going to do it? And if the answer is no, believe yourself. They say if someone shows you who they're going to be, believe them. So believe yourself too. If you've joined programs and you've never followed through, what makes you think you're going to follow through just because? So now you're spending your money for the feeling of a dopamine hit to be able to say, hey, I joined this marketing group, so therefore I did what I need to do for marketing. Oh no, honey. The joining is step one of many. So we're going to start to assess, am I an overjoiner where I'm joining every single group that comes across my path, or am I really getting impact? And here, SpendClass is free for this full year. I'm offering it for free. So you can definitely, message me and I can send you a link and get into the reminders. Or you can just keep joining me here live and subscribe to YouTube and you'll see when the shows come up. But don't join SpendClass as another thing that you say you're going to do, but you never show up. And if you're going to come and listen and just get wisdom, and that's your lunch hour, great. Many times I spend the mornings learning, growing, listening to teachers that I admire or that have done something I want to do, but that's not doing. So know the difference. If you're going to spend your time, your energy, your attention, or your money on anything, pay attention. Are you actually going to execute? Are you going to take it forward? And that's it for me, guys. My legs are toast. They are shaking, and we're going to shake it out. And so as you make the decision, as you're standing and facing a decision about yes, move forward, no, hold back, is it the time? Is it not the time? I really invite you to consider these elements. Number one, if it's a full body yes, and you don't know why, but you're committed, and it's so big, the yes, that you can't deny it, who's to argue with that? Trust your source, trust yourself, and just be intentional about whatever tools you have to implement to keep you active in that group. But if it's not a full body yes, and this is a logical choice that you're making, then I invite you to, number one, test if this choice actually moves you forward in an area that you've identified you want to move forward. Then, is it the right community and the right teacher for you? And then if all of that lines up, be honest with yourself. Are you ready to execute, to commit, to take action, to be consistent with that action? Because here's the last tip I'll give you for the day, and we're going to wrap it up. If you feel good, shake it out with me. And the last tip of the day is this. You are already everything you need. So all you have to do is stay consistent. There's nothing else to do, to want, to be, to create, to design. You've probably gotten already all the things you need right in front of you. Sometimes we need to tap into community for accountability. That's what I hope this class is offering you, is like, hey, on Wednesdays at noon, I go in and I have my accountability. Or maybe you watch this later and do it later. I have my accountability to that. What is the one thing this week that you will choose accountability to? Because all the tactics, all the strategies, all the money you could spend, all the time, energy, attention, money that you can pour into something means nothing if you go all in today and don't do it again tomorrow, and don't do it again tomorrow, and don't do it again tomorrow. So it's consistency. This is what I promise you. I've been in this industry for more than 2 decades, and the people who win choose a thing and they do it, period. They're not doing 17 things and like, look at me, I'm doing everything. They're choosing something, and they're choosing that one something, and they're becoming consistent with that. And guess what? Time might deliver a shift, like you were being consistent and then boom, something knocks you off. This is a Wednesday at noon class. What happens if I get some kind of gig or some kind of encounter where I need to be busy on Wednesdays at noon? I'm not quitting this class. This is my commitment to you and to me, really, is that I'll find a new time that works, but I'll maintain consistency. And over time, I'll find the exact time and energy and the loosest space for me to continue it and continue the class. Why? Because I understand that consistency is what brings value, what brings change, what brings enlightenment, what brings all the things is just being consistent, because a little bit here and there doesn't get us anywhere. Actually, borrow that phrase. A little bit here and there doesn't get you anywhere. I'm going to give it to you one more time, and you got to get the hips in there if you're going to do it. A little bit here and there doesn't get you anywhere. Now, there is another phrase I like, which is little by little, a little becomes a lot. And so if you can take that and combine it with consistency, that little by little on a consistent basis, little by little, a little becomes a lot. Little by little, a little becomes a lot. Little by little, a little becomes a lot. And that's what we're here doing. Little by little, a little becomes a lot. May you go out into the world, spend your money well, be smart about what you're doing, and most importantly, get all the life you can out of your money. I'm an economist. I care that you get the most out of what you're doing. Reach out, private message me, reach out to our channel if you are looking for support in that, especially if you've come into some new money and you want some help making those decisions. You've had some business success, you've had an inheritance, perhaps you've even won a lottery, or you won the lottery of self because you finally landed that big gig you've been looking for, but you don't really know how to make sure that you're making good choices with your money. Reach out. We do have services to help you with that. But most importantly, find that thing that is your full body yes, take action, and be consistent. And I promise you, you will see results, whatever that is. Consistency breeds results. Until next time, thank you for joining me for Spend Class. Keep commenting, keep sharing, and let me know what else you'd like to know about how to spend your money well. And I will see you again online next week. Bye.